Hello everybody and welcome back to Talking Wolves. We are here for a brand new update video with what's been happening in and around Molineux over the last couple of weeks or so. It's been a little while since our last video update, so as always, hope you guys are keeping well, keeping safe, enjoying the World Cup. England obviously are still in it, which is great, but I know we have a number of viewers from around the world, so hopefully you're enjoying it nonetheless as well. But yeah, a lot of updates, some really intriguing transfer news as well. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. We're going to kick off though with some details in regards to this sort of mid-season break that Wolves have gone on this week. Julen Lopetegui, it's his first big opportunity to see a lot of these players. There was actually a behind closed doors friendly against Birmingham City over the weekend. Wolves posted one or two clips of that. It was a 2-2 draw in the end. Obviously lots of players, both first team, fringe, 23s players involved in that match, which saw Podence and Diego Costa scoring. Now, Wolves have flown out to Marbella in Spain yesterday, which was Monday, and we're going to have two friendly matches over the next week or so, which are going to be streamed as well. You'll be able to watch them via the Wolves website. I'm sure we'll have more information on that soon. But the first match is actually going to be this Friday against Italian club Empoli, and next Wednesday we'll play Spanish club Cadiz. Now, the Cadiz one will be interesting because they're almost as bad at scoring goals as Wolves are. They've only scored 9 league goals this season. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. The Empoli game is midday on Friday, and the Cadiz game next Wednesday, the 14th, is at 11 a.m. So fortunately, none of them really clash with World Cup fixtures, which is always nice. But like I said, first opportunity for Lopetegui to really see some of the players. Players such as Hwang Hee-chan, I'd expect to possibly travel next week. Obviously, unfortunately knocked out of the World Cup now with South Korea. Although for him, he had a pretty decent tournament, scored the winning goal to get them out of the groups. Had a pretty decent individual performance against Brazil despite the heavy defeat as well. Raul Jimenez as well expected to be there possibly within the next few days or so as well. But we'll talk about Raul Jimenez a little bit more later in the video. But yeah, some big transfer news coming. It was this weekend actually that Wolves were said to be in advanced talks with Spanish club Atletico Madrid in regards to the signing of Brazilian forward Matheus Cunha. Now, Cunha has obviously been at Atleti for the last season or so. It's been a pretty disappointing year for them. Knocked out of the Champions League. So now they're looking to lighten their squad a little bit, get rid of a few more players. And Matheus Cunha is one of those. He seems to have been around for quite a while now. But I'm pretty sure if I quickly search... he's only 23 years of age, 24 right at the end of the season. But like I said, already been around for a number of years. A lot of top flight experience playing in Germany before moving to Atletico Madrid last year as well. Where this season hasn't been prolific. He hasn't scored a single goal in the 17 games, but still a very talented footballer. I don't think this would be an out-and-out forward for Wolves. But I'd be very intrigued to see if this move comes to fruition, how Wolves deploy him and how Lopetegui uses him in his setup. Scored 6 league goals last season, but never ever been prolific. So I would see him more as a winger rather than a number 9 striker, maybe a winger or number 10. Now, it was reported by a number of sources in Spain, that was, but then Fabrizio Romano jumped on it on Sunday and on his YouTube channel said that this may not be the only move between Wolves and Atletico Madrid. Now, this got fans thinking, is it going to be a Wolves player going in the opposite direction? Is it going to be another Atleti player joining Wolves? That was cleared up quite quickly on Sunday evening when it was said that Atletico Madrid defender Felipe is now in talks with Wolves as well. Now, another Brazilian, as is Matheus Cunha. Felipe, a lot more experienced in his early 30s, but obviously a centre-back, which is interesting because it's obviously an area that Wolves are trying to strengthen at the end of the summer window. And it's obviously an area that Lopetegui has identified that needs to be strengthened. We've got Max Kilman, we've got Nathan Collins there. We haven't got, obviously we've got Totti Gomez and Mosquera, but probably haven't quite got the experience overall defensively that we need. So Felipe would be, again, in my opinion, a solid signing for Wolves. I don't think he's going to cost a hell of a lot of money. So it'll be intriguing to see if both of these come to fruition. But it sounds like they could be both available for decent prices. Lopetegui's first 2 signings could be from Atletico Madrid. And for me, it's a good sign that we're getting the wheels in motion now. If we can get a couple of players announced on the 1st, 2nd or 3rd of January, rather than waiting until the end of the month, that would be show a really decent signal of intent by Wolves. Now, I mentioned him earlier on, Raul Jimenez, of course, ended up being in the Mexico squad for the World Cup. I don't think he started any games for the Mexicans, but a decent number of cameo appearances, but they were knocked out in the end. And Lopetegui made no secret that he was disappointed with how the situation was handled by Jimenez. In his first press conference as Wolves manager, he said how disappointed he was in regards to the situation with Jimenez and how it was dealt with by mainly the player. But I think the club probably didn't make it clear to fans with what was going on, really. But it has been said and reported over in Mexico in the last day or so that Lopetegui has said that Raul Jimenez is free to leave Wolves either this January or in the summer window. Apparently, Jimenez has already got options, including a number of clubs in America, in the MLS, or a potential return to his old club, Club America, has been touted very often over in Mexico. So it'll be interesting to see with what happens in January if Jimenez is free to go. We know he's not been the same player since that horrific injury, which has been over 2 years now, but such a fantastic forward for us when he was in his prime, and it's just quite sad and upsetting to see how quickly the sort of mood and the attitude from fans has gone downhill. But I suppose the lack of communication and the way it looks between Jimenez and the club isn't great right now. So definitely a situation it's worth looking at as well. Now, we spoke about Felipe being a potential reinforcement at centre-back. There's another player who was reported on Friday night, that David Garcia, who's an Osasuna defender, has a €20 million release clause, is also on Wolves' radar. Now, Lopetegui was a big fan of Garcia. He said that it was said that he wanted to sign him when he was manager of Sevilla, but Wolves have a better situation financially, and he's got more infrastructure to maybe make this deal happen. So he's definitely an option there, David Garcia, rated very highly, one of the better defenders outside the Spanish top six, and like I said, a €20 million release clause for him right now. Some sources saying Wolves have activated it and agreed the deal, other sources saying there's just interest right now, so we'll see what happens with that one. Another player based in Spain right now, possibly an easy link to make with Lopetegui's arrival, is Marcos Acuna, currently still at the World Cup with Argentina right now, currently playing for Sevilla. He's a player that plays down on the left-hand side. It's reported that Wolves, Villarreal, Inter Milan and Eintracht Frankfurt are all interested in the Argentine. Could cost between 12 and 14 million euros. Wolves are pretty set, I would say, on the left-hand side. Hugo Bueno has come in and made a real impression. We've got Ryan Aït-Nouri as well. Unless I see Marcos Acuna playing a slightly different position, I think he can be deployed as a central midfielder as well. I think this one is unlikely, but again, we'll wait and see. It's probably just an easy link to make, with obviously Lopetegui managing him previously as well. A player that has left Wolves, Leo Bonatini, you would have seen it at the end of last week. Wolves have terminated his contract, a mutual agreement there. Don't think he's kicked a ball for the first team since the first few games of us returning to the Premier League. Had a couple of loan spells out at Grasshoppers. And yeah, we said it at the time, you know, we had a great first half of the season for us in the Championship, then was really quiet second half of the season. That's why Wolves brought in Rafa Mir and Benny Kafobi. And then Wolves activated the purchase clause on him, which was strange at the time, but never really got going, never really got a look at in the Premier League, and he has left the club. So obviously all the best to Leo Bonatini in the future as well. And to finish off, Wolves are apparently scouting Aberdeen youngster Lewis Pirri. Now Everton, Brighton and Sheffield United are also said to be looking at him. Only 15 years of age, but he scored 33 goals at youth level this season. So we'll keep our eye on that one. It could be one for reinforcements for the under-21s in the near future. But guys, do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on today's news. I'm sure we'll be back very soon with some more transfer news and updates. But yeah, good to be back on the YouTube, guys. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all very, very soon.